Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I'm usually not a loss for words, but I am this week. Imagine that. But I'm sure I'll think of something. First thing, Tom Karst of the Packer posted a question a day or two ago about what could we do to increase opportunities for in the produce industry for Black Americans, which made me think. One of the problems uh, in disadvantaged areas is because they become food deserts and they don't even have the opportunity to buy fresh produce. Number one. If they do, it's you know how I feel. Produce is a luxury item, so if you're disadvantaged, you can't afford luxury items. Independence in those areas um, usually get it right and they cater to that community and but I don't see any like major retailers going into major disadvantaged areas. Uh, Probably doesn't fit their box. So to have the opportunities, if people don't have any opportunity to eat fresh, let's say when they're young, I don't think they're going to look for career opportunities when they're older, when it's something they don't know anything about. So my my idea for the industry is we have to get into those disadvantaged areas with price points that work for them, and that's how you create opportunities. And then somebody that falls in love with produce maybe wants to make produce a career. So that's just my thoughts about that because you know I'm going to give you a few life examples. The Hunts Point Market in the '70s. If you go back and listen to Jimmy Carter when he was running for president, made that he stood in the middle of the South Bronx and he was going to fix it and blah blah blah. The South Bronx back then, where the Hunts Point Market is, looked like a bombed out city. It was terrible. There were prostitutes on every corner and drug dealers and people living in literally houses that bricks. Half of the house was gone, um, and it's. If it wasn't for the Hunts Point Market, there was some little bodegas and everything. But if it wasn't for the Hunts Point Market, there'd be no produce. Uh, 30 years, 40 years later, I could tell you the Hunts Point Market, many blocks you could walk down. You couldn't. I wouldn't walk down the Hunts Point Market. In fact, I wouldn't walk down those streets 40 years ago, but I would walk down those streets now. So things have changed. Also, I hear I talk about racism because I hear stuff on the news that makes my head explode. That basically you're born a racist, which is total fallacy. That's not true. I'm going to give you another life story. I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and really there was no blacks in my neighborhood. But when my grandmother lived, I used to go to my grandmother. Uh, right around the block there was a black boy. Maybe I was 7 or 8 years old, and I used to play, go around the corner and play with him, right? And one day my father pulled, get in the car, right? And I had no idea, I want you playing here. It took me a little while to realize, you know, he never said anything other than I don't want you playing here. But later on in life, I figured out why. Okay, but anyway, if it's innate and it's passed down generation to generation, that would have never happened, right? And I can tell you, my father is not like that anymore. That was 40 years ago. My father, thank God, found God about 30 years ago, and he turned out to be a wonderful human being. So I don't believe in systemic racism. As I said on Sunday, uh, I believe there is racism, unfortunately, but it's on an individual level, not on a systemic level. Just like what that freaking cop did was an individual level. 100% of all the other cops, good cops, thinks what he did was just as terrible as the rest of us. And probably lastly, those riots, if you want to justify those riots and what they did and the people that died after it, sorry, I just don't agree with you. Um, Unfortunately, if that happened and there were no riots, we would have had 100% of everyone pulling in the same direction. The riots put a blemish on that, and I just don't think I just don't think it's the right thing. What makes that one life more important than the rest of them? That one life is definitely going to create change. I understand that, but there's many people that died, many police officers that died because of it. So that's. And I really believe the thing for disadvantaged neighborhoods, unfortunately, they tore them down, and the best thing to help is jobs. And my solution for that is, I think we could all be against China for what they did. If you don't think they were a major influencer in this virus and our economy over the past 30, 40 years, go get yourself educated. But if we bring our manufacturing back from China, and not just our medical industry, other industries, you make Americans work, and when Americans work, then maybe they could afford American-made products, and we could get back to where it was in, like after World War II. After World War II, I think the United States was responsible for basically 75% of manufacturing in the world. That would be great if they have that again. We made China rich by us being rich. Okay, how about a little produce, right? Okay. Red peppers. It's been hot in Coachella all week, and it's going to continue, 105, 107 degrees. As I said on Sunday, if it wasn't for the virus, which I think we can all agree that everybody's outside now, and then the riots, that really put a damper on demand. But the supplies are not great that market should be coming off. I think the market picks up. California Reds, the deals they're $12 to $14 FOB, and terminal markets are $16 to $20. Here's a caveat: there's new crop Mexican peppers. People have to understand. In the olden days, the deal used to end around now and used to switch to California. Well, there are new areas that they've grown, the peppers in Mexico to extend their season. So we do have new crop peppers now that are in competition with California's, and those are in the $10 to $12 FOB, and that's that's the lower end of the market, because $10 FOB, and you usually load them out of here, like in McAllen, Texas. Much cheaper freight than California freight, so that's the lower end of the market, and it's a moneymaker. So just be aware of that. I just think this market has room to go up based on 105, 107 degrees. They're not going to pick too many California peppers, and they're going to have a lot of sunburn and sun scald on them. So be aware of that. Roma tomatoes, I don't think we're going to hit the minimum. We're pretty, we're at $8.95 to $9.95, but I think we have maybe 7 to 10 more days left, and then we go into that summer mode. That's usually is a little uptick in prices. So be careful there. Eggplants. This is a sustained high market for a long time, and I tell you the truth, not coming off. You had a lot of rain in Georgia. You have the Mexicans are pretty much done, and you got the Californians that, for the West Coast, they're $14 to $16 FOB. So no cheap eggplants, I guess, unless the eggplant capital of the East, New Jersey, and that's a little while off. And I'm going to start shipping mangoes next week, Tufos and Tommy Atkins. I'm going to put a picture of our label, Saffron Bay. So I would appreciate any business you could give me. Same label. I have my own red peppers starting in September. Same label, and I'll have another label also, Monarch. So just keep that in mind. And that's it. So until Sunday, I'm sure I'll have a lot to say on Sunday. Take care. I love you. I love the produce business, and I'll see you on Sunday. Okay? Take care. Love you. Bye.